You absolutely love to see it. Another show on your favorite YouTube channel, Golazo America. Hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and let's get after it. Hi, hello, and welcome to your favorite Average Good podcast. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davis and Tony Miola, and we have a fantastic show for everyone today. Yes, we preach average to goodness because that's what we know, but we are being joined by a good to great guest all the way from Derby County, U.S. men's national team striker, Patrick Agyemang. We're going to bring him on right away. We're not even going to wait for anything. Patrick, great to see you as always. How you living, man?
Yeah, all good here. All good. I appreciate y'all for having me today, man.
Well, we appreciate your time. So 27 games in all competitions for Derby, 9 goals, 4 assists. You got 3 in your last 4. The team is on fire right now. 3 wins and a draw. You're up to 7th in the championship, just 1 point away from one of the playoff spots to get promoted to the Premier League. Very exciting times. So what's changed? What kind of water are you drinking in Derby, and can you share it with the rest of us?
Nah, man. I think the main thing for me was just like kind of getting healthy. I felt like obviously I was dealing with the pain and the surgery, and after, it takes time. It doesn't just like fix itself right after. Like, you got to build into it. Body has to get used to everything. So I feel like once I started feeling good in my personal self, I was able to start feeling more of myself and playing my game. And I think the boys in general, we just started to click. I think, in the past couple of games, we found like the right system that works for us. And yeah, we just been playing and enjoying our game, man. Can't lie.
Patrick, yeah, congrats on everything that's been going on lately. Glad to see you back on the field. So talk about that journey a little bit, right? You get there, you're injured, like the mental part of it, right? You want to make an impact on the team, but of course you got to be on the field to do that. And then kind of your steps moving forward here, and then I guess the biggest part so far that you've improved on in your game.
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, since I know for the beginning of 2025, I've been dealing with like the pubalgia pain or the sports hernia. Obviously, it wasn't as bad in the beginning, but I knew something was wrong. And going throughout the year and into summer, I realized I needed to get something done because I just didn't feel like I could move the way I'd hoped so. So then, I get here and we do the double up, and it was good. I feel like in the beginning I was stressed because I never had surgery before, but the way they had the plan for me, they said, we're going to take time, make sure you feel good and ease you back into everything. Like, they encouraged me. They were like, no stress. Just know that we're going to make sure we put you in the best position possible. And like the guys here was always, checking in, encouraging me. And I think, leading back into me training, they just, they made me feel comfortable and they allowed me to adjust. And once the game started to roll, they were like, all right, this is where we have to go. We got to start working hard and demanding a lot from me and everybody else as well. And yeah, ever since then, I think, my body started getting better and better. And I feel like I was able to just, move more freely than I used to be in the beginning of the year. And yeah, man, like now I just feel like I'm kind of getting my feet like better now. And I feel like I'm in a rhythm and I just can just enjoy the game without thinking about anything else.
So you're catching a vibe. That's what I'm getting. You're catching a real vibe. So yeah. I want to talk about you right now, right? 3 goals in your last 4 matches, 3 goals and an assist. You're talking about your body physically, but since arriving in England, what's the biggest change you've noticed in yourself as a striker? Not just physically, but more mentally.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I'm more in a mindset of like I want to be relentless. Like, I just don't want to stop. I just want to keep going. Like, every game, I want to give every defender, anybody I play against, the biggest headache. Like, I want them to all know that they were in a game. Like, it's obviously the culture is a bit different. Like, everything's so like football focused here. Like, it's just that's it, And for me, when I'm playing striker, like a lot of defenders try to just like kick me or put me off my game.
Hey, that's Jimmy Conrad, by the way. That's Jimmy Conrad, by the way.
I might have done that to you, Patrick. I can't lie.
Hey, you have to though. You have to. I can't get mad. But obviously, I'm not just gonna let that happen. Like, I'm gonna hit you as well. So it was kind of like adjusting to that part, and then I think like in the box, I feel like in the box finishing is what I was working on, especially like the aerial part. Obviously, I'm taller. Like, we've been doing a lot of work here, and just my positioning to know where I can, affect the game more and like make defenders like worry about me more instead of just me being static, like how much movement I'm doing. So I think a lot of that has all played into just my development here.
Do you have an individual coach working with you on that? Is this kind of a combination of you watching yourself play, watching games, having the head coach, or is there a personal coach that says, hey, let me help you with your finishing technique, let me help you with your runs in the box or the awareness? Like how is that game coming together for you?
Yeah, it's clips. It's a lot of clips from training to games, just the little details of what I tend to do or what I used to tend to do, and then what will help me get to maybe the next level or whatever I want to be, as a player. And to training, like they're on me, like Pat, this is the moment I'm talking about. This is that, it's just all those details that they're trying to just get me into that mindset of like, being a top striker. Ultimately, that's where I want to be, and they want to push me as much as possible. So, in training, like when making the right runs, arriving the right time when the cross is coming in, just making sure my positioning is right in order to be ready for whatever opportunity comes as a striker, because you only need one chance to score. So that's the main thing, is just making sure I'm like fully there, fully focused and switched on all times.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. One of the things we all preach as coaches is that the little details make a big difference, right? So I'm going to clip this out for all the kids that I coach, because I think it's really important what you just said.
For sure.
All right, so Derby are in the thick of a playoff race. Maybe the club didn't expect that this year. From all the predictions I went back and looked at, they're like, oh, Derby mid-table, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do one thing one way or the other. But now you are here in the conversation, and you're taking on Ipswich, which is a big one because they're above you in the table this upcoming weekend. Are you getting kind of that playoff race feel? Well, I guess that's what Americans would call it. You can feel that there's a little bit more on these games than
decision day, MLS.
MLS decision day.
MLS decision day. It's tricky for me because like I'm just up for every game now. Like I just can't wait. I don't really put pressure on myself in that way. Like to guys, we're in the playoffs, we have to do this. No. It's more like let's just keep enjoying the game we've been playing. Like I think all of us are just very like up for this game coming up because we feel like we're in a proper rhythm now. It's a bit different when it's you're winning games, but you're not really like sure how you're winning games. You're like, all right, we got kind of we squeezed out a late minute header or whatever. But now like we have like a system that we're kind of playing with now that works. So I think everyone's just up to show like the whole league that we're not to be doubted no more. So yeah, I'm just enjoying my game. I can't wait.
I love that.
What, Patrick? Why was Derby County the place for you? Right, there had been rumors after during the Gold Cup that there were teams in France and who knows what they were, and then of course you had Dean Smith, your manager, who had some comments that maybe weren't favorable to the championship. But you also have Tim Ream, and you have Zaha, and you have Nathan Byrne, who actually was at Derby County, right, for a couple of years. Like, what was the conversation with all those guys that you essentially in the end said, "Hey, this is the place for me"?
Yeah. So obviously, like as time was going, like there was a lot of transfers, rumors, and obviously I've talked to different clubs as well, like you said, France and England and wherever else. For me, it was how I feel like I'll fit, and how confident the staff would be with me. A lot of times I didn't want to be like in a position where I'm always, just obviously you're fighting for a spot, but you want a club that really wants you to do well, like as a person, as a player, and as the whole team. Like I didn't want it to be like a piece. I wanted them to, like invest in me a bit to show me like, okay, Pat, we want you to get here. We want to help you get to where you want to get to. And, like Derby right away, they've just been helping me. From the beginning, first call, like I felt like they were like a family. It felt like a family environment. And I've always told myself like I'd rather that than anything, like a place where they bring you in and it's no stress, like everyone's just like welcoming, everyone's showing a lot of love. And that was from day one, from the first call I've had to where I'm sitting right now. So I think that was a big one for me. It was just that feeling of like, yeah, this is where I want to be. And yeah, honestly, I'm very happy with my decision.
Big man, talk to me about your development, because you talked about the little details. In terms of development, you're a late bloomer. You're a stud. You've always had it in you, but it's one of those things where later on, because you've been given opportunities, you started to excel. And here you are now in the English Championship excelling. But how do you balance the urgency to develop versus the patience, like trusting the process? Because, not only are you trying to get into the championship playoff and then potentially a Premier League spot, but you got a World Cup on the horizon. You tasted international football. So, you're looking across your shoulders and you're saying, okay, Balogun's playing at Monaco in Champions League. Pepe's at PSV playing Champions League. You want that too, right? So how are you balancing that, staying focused and not, letting the lows take you too low or the highs take you too high?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I don't really compare myself to like other people. Like my situation, who I am as a person is different from everybody else. My journey is different from anybody else. Obviously, at the end of the day, when you getting called up to the national team, you're competing against other players, cool. But for me, like my development has been so different just because like obviously I haven't been as much in professional environments. I think of my first season was 2023, so 3 years ago. But like I said, I was just more focused on like how my body felt because this is now I feel like I'm back to who I know I can be, like the way I play, the way I run, the way I can like shift and all these things. Like I feel like I was kind of missing that for so long, and now I'm starting to feel like better. I'm not as stressed about anything else because I know like as long as I keep playing and keep pushing on, I think I'll be fine, and I think I'll do good enough for myself. And obviously at the end of the day, like I can't control the selection, but I just can control what I can do on the field and how I can help the team like excel. And now like Derby, they've given me full confidence and just allowed me to be myself and play my game. And I think now it's starting to translate even more. So yeah, I just try to just focus on me, focus on my development.
Did you learn that though? Or, was there a time where you're like, man, this guy's going, I got to do that. And then maybe you made that move to Derby and you said, okay, now I can relax and just focus on myself. But was that part of the process maybe early on? Because I'll be honest with you, Pat.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, I'm looking at my competition in terms of U.S. national strikers, and I'm saying, okay, this guy, I got to score because he scored this weekend. He's playing 90. I got to be playing 90. So was that?
Yeah, but doesn't that stress you out a bit? Like you feel like you put extra pressure on yourself.
Hell yeah, I did.
Look at him. He's still stressed.
He's still stressed.
But there comes a point when you lock in, you get into that zone, and that zone is, I know I'm doing my thing, and if I continue to do my thing, I don't need to worry about anything else. That's all a distraction. But it took a while to get into that space.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I got you. Same. Yeah, 100%. Like, I remember when I started first playing here, I'm like, bro, Pat, you got to get going. Like, you got to get going. Because obviously I started a little bit late in the season just because I was out. I was hurt. I was out, whatever, cool. And I knew, like, once I get going, like, there's going to be a little bit expectation on me here because, like, I was a bigger price tag for Derby. And it was like, I knew everyone's going to be like, Pat, you better show us what you can do. Like, they told me, like, there's going to be a little pressure on you. Like, and that's it. And I said, cool. Like, as long as I can play my game and I feel good, like I should be fine. In terms of like, comparing myself, like, all right, he scored, I have to do this. Now I'm not really like that because even since I've been feeling good, like it's been more like, Pat, just play your game, like enjoy your game, play your game, and the goals and stats will come 100% because I know how I play. I know how much like defenders don't like playing against me. I know that 100%. So it's like, if I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling good. Like I really shouldn't stress about anything. That's how I kind of go about things. And I know, like for me, like I hate losing. Like I always want to do my best. I always want to show everyone what I can do. So I know my like determination will push me through.
Hey, Pat, shout out to you for being a late bloomer. I was didn't get recruited in high school, didn't get drafted into MLS, had to play the lower leagues, fought my way up, ended up playing in the World Cup.
That's cold. That's cold.
Hey,
that's cold.
He even walked on in the media game too. Stay late.
I mean, they can't hold me back, Pat. They can't hold me back.
Hey, they can't. They never can. They never can.
So I'm hoping the same for you, and you've worked very hard to give yourself this opportunity. Let's pivot a little bit to the U.S. men's national team. You have 12 caps, 5 goals. The Gold Cup for you, I thought, was your coming out party. and could really put your stamp on things, be around the coaching staff for a month. That's what the same for me. I was part of the 2005 Gold Cup, and I knew that if I got around Bruce Arena and the coaching staff and they could see me every day, they would appreciate me in a different way. And then a year later, I was on the World Cup roster and playing the World Cup games, which was very cool. What did you gain from that experience, and what kind of information did you get from Mauricio Pochettino and the staff that's really helped you kind of build into your game now with Derby?
Yeah. It was a great experience, honestly. I think what I gained is just like, how intense everything can be. Like, when you represent your nation, like it is pressure. There's pressure 100%, but it's like everyone's up for it, man. Like the field between the group, like it was crazy. Like you look around, you just see everyone's game face on. Like everyone's just like, yeah, like I can't wait to get on that field. I can't wait to represent. I can't wait to show everyone what we can do. And that was like an amazing feeling to be a part of, obviously. And I think individually, like it was really good for me just to be around that and to play the games and like just gain experience in that that like level. With the staff, like a lot of times they just said like, show your quality, like work hard, do the right things, and allow your game to blossom on. And obviously, could have been better. I think obviously, like I feel like if things could always go different, you never know. But for me, I don't like to make many excuses. I just think I think everything happens for a reason, and obviously now, like I think I'm very confident in myself and my ability.
I'm just smiling inside because I'm looking. You said what was it, 2023, your first professional year, right? Like when you first get your first moment, like that's the biggest time of your life, right? You get an opportunity to play professionally. Did you ever think 3 years down the road, like you'll be in Derby County battling in a playoff, battling for a playoff spot, a possibility to go to a World Cup 3 years later? Like where was your mindset? Everyone wants to do this. Everyone says, I want to be in a World Cup, but there's a pathway. Did you think the pathway would happen 3 years from now?
If I'm honest with myself, like I always told myself I just need a chance to show what I can do. So I think when I did get drafted, I said like this is just the start. You never know. Of course, you never know like what can happen. You never know if you'd be in this position, but because I generally shoot like very high for myself. I always say like I set high expectations for myself every year, and maybe sometimes they could be crazy, sometimes they're not. So maybe they're realistic or not. So ideally, like I'd always wanted myself to be in this position. Did I know it was gonna happen? Nah, but I did want to hopefully be competing for like these conversations around like World Cup, these conversations around playing in Europe, like all these things. And now that like I'm even here in Europe, like it's been crazy. But like if I told myself 3 years ago that I'm in a situation, I'd be like, dang, really? Like you're doing that already? But yeah, like I said, I always shoot for the stars, man. I feel like in my journey, and yeah, it's blessed me to land here.
Hey, these guys don't really know because they're not New England born.
Okay.
There's something in the blood. You know what I'm saying? Well,
come on, man.
For me, I'm curious because you get to England. I'm sure the coaches said, okay, you had a couple of training sessions. Once you got healthy, this is where we need to see you improve. Now you've taken those next steps. Where do you need to continue to grow in your mind? Because for me, where I've seen you start to really distance yourself from the young Patrick Agyemang that we saw is your aerial ability. Now you're scoring goals left and right in the box with your head. We didn't see that so much in the MLS, and maybe that comes down to service or the runs. But where do you need to continue to grow in your mind?
Yeah, I just think sometimes the main thing for me is consistency. I think being a consistent like threat every game. Some games, like obviously you can't control everything. Like I can't control service, I can't control all that, but like just making sure I'm in the right positions consistently, giving myself an opportunity to like impact the game the right way. You're not gonna score every chance. Like obviously you're a striker, you played, like you don't score every chance, but at least you're getting chances. Like the last thing I'd want as a player is to be in a game and have no chances. Like, bro, what do we do today?
It's a cold place. It's a cold place.
Exactly. So I think for me, I just try to like focus on like doing the right as much as possible, doing the right things as much as possible, and then obviously we hope that everything else will pan out.
All right, Pat. So one of our traditions here on the show is to ask about jersey swaps. Maybe a good jersey that you got. Maybe somebody waved you off that you really wanted. We have plenty of history of that, me included. Is there a jersey swap that you got? Maybe it's a teammate. Maybe like, listen, I got a ton of respect for Tim Ream. He's been around. I'm going to switch with him. Maybe it's Zaha. I don't know. Who do you have a jersey swap story for us?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like I told you on this one though.
Oh,
like
maybe you did, because can you remind us what that one was? Unless you've leveled up on that. It's been some time.
No. That's probably the best one now.
Okay.
Still, like I've jersey swapped with a couple of the boys, like like George Campbell. We swapped. Damian, when he was here, we swapped as well. Like, so I did a couple of swaps, but like my main one was when I did Busquets in MLS.
Ah, that's right.
You remember it?
I remember.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a fantastic
It was
one.
bad. I was because it was the first home game, or when we played them in Leagues Cup 23. Like he said, he just came up. We like, shake hands after the game, whatever. He's like, good game, da-da-da. And I like was upset that we lost. I went into the dressing room. I'm like, yo, Pat, why didn't you ask for a shirt? So in my head, I stuck with it. And then the next season they came to play in Charlotte, and we lost 2-1. And I remember in the game, like, we had a quick conversation, and he was like, if you score, I'll give you my shirt, whatever. And I think like 10 minutes later, I ended up scoring. So he looked at me. Yeah.
He motivated you like that? Damn.
But the issue was, so like he looked at me, laughed, and then I got a red card at the 93rd minute in that game. So I went into the dressing room, and then I remembered the conversation, and I was like, nah. I fumbled it. But then we played him again in like September or something. And the whole day I was like, yo, don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything stupid. Just play. And right after the game.
I love that.
Like, yeah.
Third time's the charm, huh?
Third time's the charm, yeah.
Wait, what about English language? Have you picked up some of the slang, the words? What are we talking about in the locker room? How's that dynamic?
Yeah, it's good, man. They make fun of me a lot, to be honest, because I'm the only American in the dressing room. So like, they make fun of my accent all the time. They always be like, "What's up, dog?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't say that."
That's very Clint Dempsey, I think.
Yeah.
Say,
what's up, dog? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good here though. I'm enjoying.
Awesome,
Good bonds,
Patrick.
good bonds
for you, man.
Yeah.
Patrick, we really appreciate your time. You're on an absolute tear right now. Long may that continue, and continued success for you both for club and country. Patrick Agyemang, everybody.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Absolute beast. Good luck against Ipswich this weekend. We hope it goes well. Keep banging in the goals.
Appreciate y'all, man.
All right.
No worries. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take our first break of the show. When we come back, more of the good stuff, like always. Don't go anywhere.
The clock never stops. Relive the greatest moments with uninterrupted highlights and more. It's Gareth Bale! Ronaldo! Wonderful goal! On the UEFA Champions League channel. Streaming free.
All right, welcome back into the show. I'm Conradinho alongside Chuck, Chase, and Chuck and Big Tones. Let's do a little debrief of that interview. Tones, what'd you think?
That's one happy camper, man.
He's so happy. I love his vibes.
He's a great kid anyway, right? Just in general, but he's happy. He seems happy. He seems settled in. Of course, if you're a goal scorer and you go to Europe for the first time and you score goals, of course you're going to be happy, right? But there was a quote we didn't get to that I loved from his manager, John Eustace, where he talked about, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, Patrick wants to play in the Premier League. My job here, he wants to play with Derby County in the Premier League, but my job here is to make him a better player to get to where he wants to be. And again, I paraphrased the whole thing, but that's essentially what it says. And I'm thinking to myself, what else can you really ask for, right? From your manager and your club, is they want you to get where you want to be, and they're going to do everything. Of course, Derby County wants to get promotion and they want to get to the Premier League. And I don't know if it happens this year, next year, whatever, but you got people, and he talked about it, he's got people that he feels like a family, right? And they're all moving in the right direction. The one thing about the championship that I think is hard, and covering over the last couple of years, and Charlie, covered it as well pretty extensively, is that there always seems to be change with the managers in that league, right? And when you get changed with the managers, it's normally desperate. Like, I got to do something here for my team and for myself to stay. It looks like he's in a great place right now at Derby County.
You know what, Jim? You know what I'm going to say is, how can you not root for that guy?
I agree.
You look at just his attitude and mentality, and just he's not trying to put pressure on himself. Like the things that he can control, he's working towards, but he's not focused on a lot of the things that can distract you or take away some of the energy that you have. So you have to love his development so far, and he's going to continue to push, of course. So I'm excited to see how far he can go.
I love that he acknowledged that he is a handful for defenders. I love that. Like, yeah. And then telling me basically I would have to kick him to kind of hang with him. He expects to get kicked because he's just so good. And what I love too is that kind of the variety of different goals that he's scoring now, Chuck, right? He's getting on the end of crosses, back post. He's doing a lot of back post heading, right? So he's like fading to the back post. So his timing there, he talked about that too. I thought was important. He's getting himself in good positions, as he mentioned as well, to just get chances. Doesn't have to mean he's going to score all of them, but he's getting the scrappy goals. He's getting the ones that are at the back post, which is what they expect him to do. And then, he's got a couple assists too. So he's helping set up some other teammates. So I really like the different facets of his game that he's really like leveling up in all ways.
Did you both notice how he's also studying clips of his training? They're doing training sessions and going over clips. So it's not just matches. And we all know training can sometimes be light or, because they're playing so many games, not the intensity that you need maybe to go over training, but in that the clips that they're going over, it's both matches and training to kind of just continue with that high pace of information. And you got to be a sponge. And obviously he's willing to learn and adapt and take all the coaching he can get.
Yeah. If his habits aren't being seen, right? Or if you're trying to reestablish new habits, Tones, you have to do that in training. That's where it's going to happen. And it has to be in I can't say almost, in every single thing that you're doing, right? You have to make those decisions, make those choices every single time in practice. Otherwise, they're not going to show up in games as consistently as they have been.
Yeah, and we've been through our careers, right? You go through every moment, and you're like, how do I get better here? How do I make this play better? You mentioned Charlie brings up the heading, or you guys bring up the heading part of it. We came out of the Gold Cup and said that's one of the places he needs to improve, if you remember, right? And now he's going up after every ball and like dunking on people.
Use his size.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jimmy. I love the fact where he said, I'm a handful for defenders. I know I'm a handful. Like if we're not all blessed with that size. Like Charlie was a different player. You being a handful meant you were buzzing in behind players all the time, right? Like off their shoulders. So you're like a pain in the ass because I got to look on this side. You're like, where are you running behind me? He's a different pain in the neck, right? Like he's like physically he needs to impose himself on games. And it sounds like, and it seems like that's what he's doing a little bit more of. If you're a manager and you bring that guy to your club, of course, what are you asking him to do? Go be a handful in the box, right? Yeah. That's the reason I brought you here. Right. One thing he does have that might be a little bit sneaky, and we don't think about it because he's got a little dribble in him, right? When he's got that little stutter step.
Yeah, not your typical like oaf of a center forward. That's a handful, but feet are bricks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we've all seen those guys, the brick feet.
In the form of his life, but can't dribble for nothing.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
That's a deep cut.
There you go.
That is a deep cut for everybody that has been watching this for a couple of years.
Form of his life can't dribble for nothing.
Form of his life can't dribble for nothing. All right, let's get into some other crazy news. We appreciate Patrick's time, and very curious to see how he plays and performs against Ipswich this weekend. James Rodriguez is considering making a move to Minnesota United in MLS. Woo! That is crazy. He had 5 goals and 9 assists across 34 appearances for Club León in Mexico. No, doesn't have a contract with him now, but was the best player in the 2024 Copa America for Colombia, was the Golden Boot winner there, was the Golden Boot winner for the 2014 World Cup. I know that's even a bigger callback, but he clearly does it for his country. I guess that's where we're going. Since 2020, though, since he left Real Madrid, he's bounced around a little bit. He was at Everton, Al Rayyan in Qatar, Olympiacos, Sao Paulo, Rayo Vallecano, and León in Mexico. And this guy once complained about Germany being too cold when he played for Bayern Munich. I don't know if he knows where Minnesota is, but it's a little cold up there too. What are we thinking about this move overall? Chuck, coming to you.
I love the ambition of Minnesota.
Okay.
That's one. If you're telling me, hey, Minnesota, we want to move the needle. We actually want to win trophies. This is a statement type of signing. Now, do they have those type of conversations with the agent and the player? Why have you bounced around so many times? What are you missing to kind of commit yourself to a club? Because it seems like it's every year you want to switch. What's missing in that term in terms of the is it the coaching? Is it the ambition of the team? Is it you're not connected with the players? Just figuring out what is the reasons for the downfall of James Rodriguez at the club level, because we know how good he is with the national side, and you also know he's got a World Cup that he's got to get fit for. He's got to get in rhythm for. So that first half of the season he's going to be fire, but essentially it's what do we need to make this your permanent home for some time, 3-4 years. So I think those are the questions that need to be asked. But if you're telling me you get a James Rodriguez that's in form and hungry, oh my God, this is a no-brainer, and he's going to be phenomenal in this league.
Okay, so just so we're clear, reportedly, want to make sure nothing's done yet. It's just reported that this could happen. I think what's interesting, Tones, is that he hasn't had a club since December. I'm sure he's training on his own, but that's different than being a part of a system and a plan and a preseason, right? So if he does end up walking into Minnesota, let's say today, it's going to take him a little while to catch up to things. So let's give him a month. Well, that month goes right into the March friendlies. He's going to go play for Colombia in those games. So you really only get him like probably at peak form, end of March, April, and then May, like 2.5 months, and then he's gone for the World Cup. So I don't know if he's gonna sign for 6 months. Is he gonna sign for the whole year? Honestly, if I was Minnesota, I would lock him in for 26 if you could, and then get him for that little half sprint season that's going to be the start of 2027. So you just get him for those 18 months, and then you can cook from there. But yeah, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah, I still don't understand the deal. The thought of bringing James Rodriguez in is great, right? You're bringing him in Minnesota. Hopefully he helps your team, but it's reportedly a deal only till the World Cup. And I know they're going to try and convince him after that, but I'm thinking like Cam Knowles, new manager, although very familiar with Minnesota United. Like, how do you manage that, right? Just say, let me just throw a scenario. James Rodriguez comes in and he's world beater. Right, he kills it in Minnesota.
Yeah, good luck trying to lock him down.
Right, and then you got to lock him down now. And then all of a sudden, even if you just think about it from the team standpoint, you're the manager, right? You're like, okay, we're killing it. He's coming in. I know he's got to go for the World Cup. But I get that we knew that already. But now you take him out of the team. After that, you come back from the World Cup, everybody's done, and you're like, okay, well, I still have a club to run, right? I think, Chuck, you said it. You got to try and convince him to stay. If he's your guy, you got to convince him to stay. And I know there's a lot being made. He's not going to count as a DP. I completely understand. I'm just thinking about it from a sporting standpoint, from a team standpoint. Like, how do you build something, right, for 6 months? That's why I got to think that this is a 6-month. This is the first way to get you in the door, while we're talking about a longer-term deal, right? Let's get you in here now. Let's talk about it, because I think they're
dating.
Scoops,
it's almost like they're dating. If that happens, they're dating.
And we're going to get married here in a little bit, because the 6-month thing, just in general, whoever it is, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I'm assuming, and I think we're all assuming that that's the idea, that this is a little bit more long-term.
But Tones, would you say it's the same thing if Cristiano Ronaldo came and said, "I'm only going to give you 6 months," and it's because he's upset right now in Saudi Arabia. Let's just say he said, "I'll come for 6 months because I know the World Cup's in the States. It's a great way for me to get prepped for the World Cup. Plus, we got our friendlies in the States in Atlanta in March. It's a good chance for me to get going." He tells you, "I'm only coming for 6 months." Do you make that signing?
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to make the signing.
You have to make the signing,
right? I'm just worried from Cam Knowles' standpoint. New manager in the league, Minnesota United. Look, they've been through this already. Not the same level, but Babelo Reynoso, right? Like, he did this to them, I think, in 2 different preseasons. And I'm like, well, how do you build anything from that? And plus, Chuck, I guess the counter argument to the Ronaldo thing, Cristiano Ronaldo's like a completely, I respect James Rodriguez. Cristiano Ronaldo's a completely different level, and he's been really good scoring goals at every club he's been at, right?
Right.
Where James Rodriguez, you don't know. Like, I think we had something he scored, I don't know how many goals in the last 2 years, like 5 goals or something like that. I know they put it in here. But anyway, I just think it's 5 goals and 9 assists in 2 seasons at Club Leon, right? There's times
that's not cutting it. That's not cutting it. I'll tell you that.
You know, yeah. So that would be my concern. I'd love to have a really good James Rodriguez in MLS for a couple of years, man. And see him do his thing, right? Yeah, because
I'll take him and
good.
Cristiano coming to MLS.
All right, it's even better.
Let's go.
But for 18 months at least.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, just I didn't say this at the beginning, he's 34 years old, so you probably only have a couple more years to get the best out of this guy, to squeeze it all out of him. 122 caps for his country, but he's the main guy for his country. They build their whole team around him, and I feel like where he struggled is when he goes to teams where he's not the main focal point. So to your point, Tones, okay, if you only get him for 6 months, is Cam Knowles in Minnesota going to build their whole offense around this guy, their whole attack? Yes, of course. The answer is yes. Yeah. But then midway through the season, you have to completely change.
That's coaching.
I get that, but
we all know as a head coach, that's part of the job. You are going to get frustrated. There'll be times where you have the best player in your league and he's gone. Maybe it's MLS and he's gone in 6 months because he goes to Europe. He gets bought, and you have no say. And you'd say, you can't lose. I have a chance at winning MLS Cup if he's in the team. And if he's not, guess what? We have a youth coming up through the academy to replace him. So that's part of the job. So make the most of if he did join Minnesota, I'd say make the most of it. And give Minnesota owners, the ownership, a reason to say, hey, let's go get him somebody of that caliber because look what he can do. That's all.
No, that's fair. I mean, they lost Tommy Oluwase, right? To Villarreal, and that really hurt their attack last year. They really hurt their attack last year. So, yeah, to your point, Chuck. But still frustrating if you're like, I want to build around this James guy. I feel like he's kind of using us just to get World Cup prep.
Hey,
we need to use him in return. Yeah, use him in return.
Sell those jerseys, baby.
Yeah, sell those jerseys. Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's keep this moving. CONCACAF Champions Cup kicked off on Tuesday, and big result. San Diego FC in their first ever competition in CONCACAF came back from a goal down. Very good goal, by the way. Pumas, Robert Morales bicycle kick. So I was like 11 minutes in. I'm like, oh man, this might not be going San Diego's way. They got a lot of young players, no Chucky Lozano, all that stuff. They scored 4 goals in 20 minutes in the second half. Cooking. And it took a 68th minute header to kind of unlock it. Then Pumas just fell apart. Keylor Navas plays in goals, captain of Pumas. And so now 4-1 lead in leg 1 going down to Mexico City for leg 2 on February 10th.
You got to feel good about that.
You have to. All 4 of the goal scorers, Chuck. We'll talk to you as our resident goal scorer, age 23 or under. You had Manu Dua, 20, David Vasquez, 19, Alex Mighton, 23, Luca Bombino, 19. Bombino had a great quote afterwards, just like how thrilled and honored he was to score on Keylor Navas, who he thinks is just one of the best goalkeepers that's ever played. Just to see all those kind of special moments. And another shout out to Mikey Varas, who masterminded and got these guys with a short preseason to play it at a level that I feel like all the San Diego FC fans can be proud of.
Yeah, top halftime speech, no?
Yeah, whatever he did. Any changes look great.
No, he's dialed in right now.
Just got a contract extension as well. Congrats to him. I
don't think any of us saw this type of result in that first leg. So now you've given yourself a great cushion to go down to Mexico City. By the way, there's no guarantees in this competition, right? But you know when you have fans and all it could take is a red card to throw this thing.
Yeah, 5 minutes in.
Yeah, but
we've seen it.
In terms of what him and Tyler Heaps are building, you have to be through over the moon, through the roof with the growth so far and the foundation that they've put forth.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I guess now Chucky Lozano definitely in the rearview mirror now, Tones, right? I mean, you have that type of performance like, yeah, Chucky, we're good. We can do it with our younger players in the way that we see how we want to build this team.
Yeah, well, I think they said that already, right? Like Chucky Lozano, I don't see a pathway at all for him to ever wear that uniform. Their problem is my man's owed a little over $20 million. So they got to figure it out. That's a lot of cash, right, to get rid of somebody. And there are some rumors that he's, he's coveted by a couple of teams. Obviously in MLS, right? They'd love to bring him in.
Sell some jerseys.
San Jose, baby.
They gotta figure out a buyout, right? They're in a tough position right now with regards to Irving Lozano. They're not going to use him. We can joke about it all we want, but they got to figure out how to make up some scratch, right? And pay the man before he heads out the door, because there's no reason for him to leave. Right. There's, of course, there's a reason to play and all that stuff. But I mean, contractually, like, he doesn't have to just walk away from his deal. But yeah, good on them, man. That's a big result for them. But you're right, Chuck. There's no giving down there, going down to Mexico with a 3-goal lead. And we have seen stranger things happen over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Some other results from leg one. You had Forge getting a big tie against Tigres. Olympia couldn't hold off Club America. They lost that one at home 2-1. We got Monterrey traveling away to get a 1-1 draw there. Cruz Azul taking care of the other Vancouver FC 3-0. We still have LAFC, LA Galaxy. Who else? We got Nashville. Got some games coming up. So FC Cincinnati. So a lot of big games coming up in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We'll obviously keep you posted on that. All right, we're going to take our last break and call it what you want. When we come back, we got some midweek notable performances to get into from around the world for our player pool. So keep it right here.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
All right, welcome back into the show. We have some notable performances, little quick-fire midweek roundup. Weston McKennie, this is the big news, didn't play, but was named as Juventus's MVP for January. Absolutely cooking over there. Can't say enough about Weston and how he's been performing. Jonathan Gomez and Albacete's dream Copa del Rey run comes to an end with a 2-1 loss to Barcelona. DFB Pokal quarterfinals. That's my favorite name competition in the world. DFB Pokal just rolls off the tongue. Malik Tillman and Leverkusen advance to the semifinals, the third straight year doing that after a 3-0 win over James Sands and St. Pauli. John Tolkien and Holstein Kiel up the Storks. They crashed out in a 3-0 loss versus Stuttgart. Dutch Cup quarterfinals. The KNVB Cup. Serginho Dest played 74 minutes for PSV in their 4-1 win versus Heerenveen. They look like the favorites in this one. Ajax lost 6-0, by the way, to Alkmaar in an earlier round. That is absolutely wild. Mark McKenzie played his 8th consecutive 90 minutes for Toulouse, 5 clean sheets in that time, and a 1-0 win versus Amiens in the Coupe de France. And this is my favorite one, and I want to continue to talk about him because I just can't believe how well it's going for him in Spain. Real Sociedad still unbeaten under Pellegrino Matarazzo. He came from behind twice to beat Alaves 3-2 and advance to the Copa del Rey semifinals. What I want to say about this is, it was 2-1 in favor of Alaves. They got a penalty, and it looked like the game was done and dusted. Alaves was all over Sociedad. Goalkeeper saves it, Romero for Alex Romero for Sociedad, and they come back and win 3-2. I mean, I don't know what buttons that Pellegrino Matarazzo is pushing, Big Tones, as a New Jersey native, but man, I want to be hanging out with him. It's all working for him right now.
He started off really slow in his career with a draw, and then he got 4 wins, and then he slid off again with a draw. Now he's got another win.
Crushing it.
I saw his interview after the game, and he was there. There you go. He talked about the fact that, he was kind of half, not joking, but saying, hey, look, if we start a little bit better, we're going to feel a little bit more comfortable about ourselves. He looked really, really comfortable in the interview. And of course, everything's going his way, but credit to him because he's making it go his way, right? You said it. He's pushing all the right buttons right now. I got to say, man, of all the stories that we love covering the players from an American perspective in Europe, for me, this is the biggest story.
I agree.
This is massive, man. He's in La Liga, and we love covering the players. That's what we do. But when you talk about storylines and you think about histories and you think about breaking down barriers, this is the biggest the biggest story there is, and they got Real Madrid coming up soon, right? In the next couple of 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Yeah. So they got
Valentine's
Elche
Day.
next, and then 2 weeks 2 weeks against Real Madrid.
At the Bernabeu.
Yeah, like how I mean, you can't write.
They're
better,
7 points out from Europa League. That's it.
And he got brought in to make sure we're going to get relegated.
Yeah, they were in
That's what's
16th,
crazy.
right?
I mean, look how much he's changed the narrative in a month. It's unbelievable.
6 points from Espanyol, which is Conference League, and 7 points from Real Betis. That is sensational. His run,
crazy.
I would love to hear the mindset coming into the team, knowing some of the issues that when you take this job and you watch how the team plays, and you're saying, okay, I just need to fix this, and we're going to get results. And then implementing that in training, getting the guys to buy in, and then taking it match by match, and to see where they are now. You know, what is this team thinking? You know, what's possible for them this year? So, I mean, hats off to the guy. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, you have Real Sociedad. They're going to be hosting Elche. So, to your point, Chuck, if they can be thinking bigger now, right? Before they're just like, we need to survive. Now it's like, hey, maybe we can sneak into Europe. They got to get those points against teams they should beat. Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. You get what you can get from that one. Then they take on Real Oviedo. That's another one. You're at home. You got 3 points away to Mallorca. Not an easy place to play, but maybe you can steal some points there. Then away to Atleti. Then it gets a little tighter. Osasuna, Villarreal, Levante. And so then it gets a little trickier, but man, they are on.
But doable. It's tricky, but doable.
Right, because they have the quality to do it too. I'm a big Mikel Oyarzabal fan. Their captain, number 10. He just guy makes plays. He looks like he should be. He doesn't really look like an athlete to me. When I see him, like that guy should be managing an Office Depot or something. But that guy could ball out. He can absolutely ball out.
Why are you doing that to him?
I'm just saying.
But
he doesn't look like a
confidence.
pro athlete.
I mean, you can go down a lineup but it's the confidence, right? That you're playing. We all know it's the best drug you can have in the game is the confidence, right? And if they're not confident now, they're never going to be confident, right? So they're about as confident as you can be right now.
All right, another player that I didn't actually bring up when listing off those names was Tim Weah. After a difficult week just for Marseille in particular, they got eliminated from the Champions League. There was rumors that the manager Roberto De Zerbi was going to be gone. Maybe there was some conversations because he missed a day of practice to maybe resolve what that looked like. I think he was just disappointed that they crashed out and lost to Club Brugge 3-0. Tim Weah, I thought, was excellent in their game, the 3-0 win versus Rennes and the Coup de France. He made a goal out of nothing. And every time I see, he must really love playing for De Zerbi because the type of energy and like that extra stuff that he's bringing is excellent. And essentially, he pressured somebody that wasn't looking, ends up winning it, and plays it across. And that was the first goal that unlocked the victory for them. And along those lines, Tim Weah also got called out by Mauricio Pochettino recently about his comments about the ticket prices. And I think this is interesting. We're going to touch upon it just a little bit. I know, and this was, it feels like a little bit older news, but Tim Weah said this because we're on the same page with Tim Weah here. And Tim said, I'm just a bit disappointed by the World Cup ticket prices. Lots of real fans will miss matches. It's too expensive. Football should still be enjoyed by everyone. That feels like a common sentiment. We've said it on this show, I don't know, a gajillion times. And then Mauricio Pochettino clapped back at his last press conference saying, I think players need to talk on the pitch, playing football, not outside. It's not his duty to evaluate the price of the ticket. We're not politicians. This is Pochettino. We are sport people that we can only talk about our job. If FIFA takes a decision, they know why, and it's their responsibility to explain why, but it's not on us to provide our opinion. Our responsibility is to perform. So, yeah, yes, that last line, I agree. Our responsibility is to perform, but I also think
our responsibility is also to use our platform to speak.
I agree.
For those who don't have anything to stand on, and for the voices that have been silenced.
Yeah.
You know, that's what social justice is. And I look at what Pochettino's job is, and that's to get his team focused on a World Cup and their personal performances, and distractions can take away from that focus. But then there are times, and you're also saying, hey, what's necessary versus what's not necessary? You know, is this one of those actions that you could see gaining momentum and causing change? Probably not. So why speak up about it? So there are probably different ways to say it and handle it for sure. But I can understand where maybe where he's coming from in terms of being a coach. Now, what Timothy Weah did, I don't see any
zero issue with that at all. And
like
I love that he's standing out for the little people, man.
Yeah, like for instance, I would have never been able to go to a World Cup game in '94 if ticket prices were like that. My dad got handed tickets from a coworker. He said, "Hey, you want these tickets? I know you like soccer. Here you go." Or you probably like soccer. Here you go. you know?
You do now. You got tickets. You like it now.
and I got to go for my 7th birthday.
It changed the trajectory of your life.
And that's where my dream began. Honestly, that is where me going to that game, and by the way, it was 0-0. That game changed my life, that experience. And now we're saying, hey, you guys, in order to get that experience, you're going to have to go to a watch party because that's going to cost what it would cost for other tickets, maybe in other parts of the world if the World Cup was there, $20 to get into a watch party. So forget about going to a game, or you just got to watch it on TV. The actual experience of going to a match and you know, being at the tailgate, playing small-sided pickup games with random kids from all over the world, that's kind of what that's the whole experience.
Yeah.
So 100% see where Timothy Weah is coming from, and I just think Mauricio Pochettino could have handled it much differently.
I want to give Pochettino a little bit of grace here because I think I can see a little bit, to your point, Chuck, that coaching. I see where he comes from a little bit there, but if you're asking your players to bottle up how they feel and bottle up emotions, I don't know if that's necessarily healthy either, right? And that can have a ripple effect in a different way later on. So I'm hopeful this just blows over, but Tones, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you've had coaches, so many coaches over your career that probably said stuff you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
No, but I want to hear from Tones. Like, do you think this is actually worth, like from Pochettino saying there are things to speak up on versus this is something you have zero control over?
Yeah, let's paint the picture. First off, Timothy Weah, we'll say it for you. Ticket prices are too expensive for the World Cup. FIFA needs to do something about it. So we said it for you. There's nothing wrong with what Timothy Weah said. What I didn't get about it, it's not like Timothy Weah is going out and petitioning. Like, you know what I mean? Like this isn't like a platform. He was just asked the question, right? And he responded in a very honest way, and he gave his feelings. Let's not lose sight of the fact that Mauricio Pochettino was doing this interview from the FIFA offices in Coral Gables, Florida, right? When this came up. Do with that information what you will, right? But I thought there was no reason for him. He can say whatever he wants. I thought, like, why would you pick that moment, right? And that subject to kind of like bury your player for a little bit. And by the way, didn't seem to affect Timothy Weah and his focus yesterday when he was tracking down the defender at the goal line and he busted his ass to get to the ball. And then he makes an assist. He turned something into nothing into something. And it didn't seem to affect him in that moment. I think it's kind of a, I don't know why he took that battle to wage, but he's the national team coach. He can say whatever he wants. I completely agree. Focus on the game, but I don't think this was taking anything away from Timothy Weah's focus in any way, shape, or form. Personally, if I were in the position, I wouldn't have touched it. With regards to my player, right? I would have answered it in a different way.
Hey, I saw a comment, $200 for parking. So there you go.
We'll say it parking too. For you, Timothy, we'll say it for you. Parking at the World Cup is too expensive.
Total bullshit. I'd
be walking a marathon to get to a game. You know what I mean?
You could have one of those like 13.1 stickers on your car. That's how long it took you. It wasn't a half marathon. You actually had to do to walk to a FIFA World Cup game.
Exactly.
So I saw outside of SoFi, $250 to $350 to get a parking spot. I mean, it's
going to be a lot of hitchhikers.
A lot of hitchhikers. I mean, I just get a bike or one of those little scooters you can rent. They're going to have like a gajillion of those outside of each stadium just so you can get to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you knew this was coming. You knew that FIFA, like, ooh, America. Hey, we get to charge everybody whatever we want, you know? But so I'm not surprised, but I guess I'm disappointed. It falls into the disappointed camp that they would not find a way to find some middle ground where everybody could be happy. And yes, people are going to still buy tickets, and yes, they're still going to be sold out and all that. But I still think it's bullshit. And I'm with you, Tim.
Jimmy, what's that thing they have in Florida with no one driving the car? What's that one? The service called Waymo, right?
Waymo, yeah, Waymo's in San Francisco.
There's no driver.
No drivers.
Things are going to be pulling up to SoFi Stadium by
what about
hundreds,
Waymo for the Super Bowl? You doing anything in the Super Bowl, Jimmy? This
no.
weekend?
But if you know anybody that wants to give me a ticket, maybe I could become a fan of the NFL.
Jim,
it's
in your area. How you not involved?
Listen, that stadium's a mess on game days, so it's not necessarily a pleasurable experience. I was there for Copa America. I remember seeing Colombia and James Rodriguez against the U.S., and it can be a bit of a mess. So I wish everybody the best managing the
San Francisco World Cup bid. The committee, they got to help you out.
I know. Give this guy a little bit of love. Listen, Waymos are a nightmare, by the way. I saw one of them not know whether to go forward or go backwards, and it held up traffic for like 10 minutes because it just didn't know. It was amazing. And you could just see everybody going, damn you robots, It was.
So you're saying don't get in one of those?
I think they're fine. But
have you seen them, Chuck? Have you seen them?
Last time we were in LA for Nations League.
Holy cow, my wife and I saw for the first time walking. I know we were walking in and we're like, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it existed. I'm like, holy shit, look, there's no one in the car. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's no one driving the car. She's like, oh, there's no one driving the car. I'm like, yeah, look at this thing, man. It's the weirdest thing.
I could see you, Toads, with it. Put your glasses on, being like,
I was like, holy cow, man. Look, there's no one in there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. All right. Final thoughts. What do you guys got cooking for us as we head into this weekend? Any games we should be watching? Any players you're excited to watch perform this upcoming weekend? Let's leave everybody on
yes,
something to look out for. Go ahead, Chuck.
Drake May.
Oh, you're going Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Patriots, baby. Drake May. Watch out. Here he comes. Healthy
Where are you
shoulder.
watching it? Where are you watching
where are you watching it? And who are you watching it with?
Where am I watching the game? Home. That is where I'm watching it. Home.
With the boys.
With the fam. The boys gonna have all their jerseys. Their Drake May, their Stephon Diggs jersey, Drake May jersey. We got popcorn, food. You're on your couch. Everybody's excited. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we do wings and pizza every Super Bowl. It's like our tradition, man. You gotta have
wings and pizza. You can't beat that.
Yeah. Well, good luck to your Patriots, man. What a comeback story.
I hope the Seahawks Sounders absolutely dunk on them. We'll see if that happens.
And then they're gonna sell. They're gonna sell after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. All right, that's it. We're calling it a show. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. Lots of big games. Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bayer Leverkusen. So you got some Scally, potentially Reyna if he's healthy, versus Malik Tillman. That should be a good one amongst many others. Obviously, Patrick Agyemang. We'll see if he can continue his red-hot form. Thank you again to Patrick for coming on the show and Darby for allowing him to speak to us. And that's it. We're calling it. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. We'll see you next week. Later.